So in previous part we have seen what is blood pressure. This blood pressure is measured by a device called as sphygmomanometer. By sphygmomanometer. This device, this sphygmomanometer, it consists of an inflated rubber bag which is covered by a cotton cloth, and it is connected by the rubber tubes on one side and rubber bulb at the other side. Now during the measurement, the person is asked to lie down in a sleeping position, and this inflated rubber bag, this rubber bag is wrapped around the arms of the person. It is wrapped around the arm of the person, and the rubber bag is inflated till the brachial artery gets blocked. So the rubber bag which is wrapped around the arm, it is inflated till the brachial artery gets blocked due to the external pressure which is applied by the rubber bag. So after some time, that rubber bag is, that pressure is lowered till the first pulsatile sound is heard. Now this sounds which are heard during the measurement of the pressure, those sounds are called as Korotkov's sound. These sounds are called as Korotkov sound. So till the first pulsatile is heard, it is dropped, the pressure is dropped till the first pulsatile sound is heard, and afterwards it is dropped slowly, it is lowered, the pressure is lowered till the flow of the blood gets smooth. When this first pulsatile is heard, at that time the pressure which is measured in the manometer, mercury manometer, that pressure is called as the systolic blood pressure. It is called as systolic pressure. And when the blood flows smoothly, at that time when the pressure is lowered, at that time till the blood flows smoothly, that time the pressure which is measured in the mercury manometer, that is called as diastolic blood pressure. Diastolic pressure. An optimal value of blood pressure, or the optimal blood pressure of a normal person, reads about 120 per 80 millimeters of mercury. This is the normal blood pressure of a healthy or average human being, healthy human being, adult. So it is an optimal blood pressure of the healthy human being. Now we are going to understand the disorders of heart and their cure. The first is the hypertension. Now hypertension, it is raised blood pressure higher than the normal value, that is 120 per 80 millimeters of mercury. Higher than that, it is called as hypertension. When the blood pressure is raised than this normal value, it is called as hypertension. That is 140 per 90 millimeters of mercury. It is the threshold of hypertension. It is the maximum value of hypertension. If the blood pressure grows more than this, then it can be dangerous for the health. Suppose for 180 to 180 per 120 millimeters of mercury, that will be, these are the higher readings. These readings or this blood pressure can be dangerous to health. It may damage the brain, heart and kidneys. So the blood pressure which is higher than the threshold of hypertension, maximum amount of hypertension, maximum value for the hypertension is 140 per 90 millimeters of mercury. If the pressure is more than this, then it may be dangerous to health. It may damage the brain, heart and the kidneys. Under certain conditions of hypertension, heart uses more energy for pumping the blood. This causes angina pectoris. So, during the conditions of the hypertension, the heart uses more pressure to pump the blood out, and this causes angina pectoris. The chest pain, angina pectoris, is nothing but the chest pain due to the lowered blood supply to the cardiac muscles, and it may lead to myocardial infarction. Now, angina pectoris means the chest pain which is felt or which is observed due to the lower blood supply to the cardiac muscles. Now, while studying the heart, I said that even though the heart supplies blood to all the parts of the body, heart is also an organ of the body, so it also needs blood supply, isn't it? So the sinuses, the coronary sinuses, they provide blood to the heart muscles, and if that blood supply is lowered at that time, this angina pectoris can occur or can be observed. It may lead to myocardial infarction, means malfunctioning of heart. There are more chances of hemorrhage due to hypertension. So, more chances of hemorrhage due to hypertension. More chances of the blood vessels to burst out due to hypertension. That is the hemorrhage. Instead of the blood flowing in the vessels, it comes out of the vessels and starts spreading in the body. That is hemorrhage, and it can also occur due to hypertension. The another is coronary heart disease, that is CAD. It is also known as atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis means calcium, fat, that is cholesterol, and fibrous tissue gets deposited in the blood vessels which supply the blood to the heart. Now, the blood vessels which supply the blood to the heart, in those blood vessels, the calcium, fat like cholesterol and fibrous tissues, they get deposited, and because of this the blood supply to the heart is lowered. That is called as atherosclerosis. This makes the lumen of the vessels narrow. So this deposition of these fat and calcium and fibrous tissue, it makes the lumen of the blood vessels narrow, the cavity through which the blood flows. That cavity or the diameter of the vessels is narrowed. So because of that, the flow of the blood is resisted, and the heart is supplied with less blood, and because of that hypertension takes place. Hypertension takes place, and the other things can also be seen, such as because of hypertension, damage to brain, heart and kidneys can be observed, or myocardial infarction of the heart can also take place. So that is called as atherosclerosis, coronary heart disease. The next is angina pectoris, the pain in the chest resulting from reduction in the blood supply to the cardiac muscles because of atherosclerosis. Now, because of atherosclerosis, because of the deposition of the fat and the calcium and fibrous tissues in the blood vessels which supply blood to the heart, due to that a pain in the chest is seen or felt. It is characterized by severe pain and heavy chest, or heaviness in the chest. It is characterized, the symptoms are the severe pain in the chest and the heaviness of the chest. Pain may spread to the neck, lower jaw, left arm or the left shoulder. So this pain, angina pectoris, this pain may spread to the lower jaw, neck, lower jaw, left shoulder and the left arm. results from exertion where the demand of oxygen is more by the heart but does not meet the requirement. Now this is the result of the exertion of the body or that part due to the more demand of oxygen by the heart and does not meet the requirement. More demand of oxygen is there by the heart, but the demand is not fulfilled, but the requirement is not fulfilled. So this results in the angina pectoris. The next, that is angiography. Angiography, X-ray imaging of cardiac blood vessels to locate the position of the blockage is called as angiography. Now, in the body, in the blood vessels, exactly where blockage is there, to find out that exact site, angiography is done. It is the X-ray imaging of cardiac blood vessels, of heart blood vessels. It is an X-ray imaging of the heart blood vessels to see where the blockage is there, and this X-ray imaging is called as angiography. Now, depending upon the degree of blockage, remedial procedures like angioplasty or bypass surgery can be performed. Now, depending upon the degree of the blockage, how much the blockage is, depending on that, the remedial procedures can be done, like angioplasty or the bypass surgery can be performed. In angioplasty, stent inserted in at the site of the blockage to restore the blood supply. In angioplasty, a stent is inserted in the site of the blockage. Wherever the blockage is there, a stent is inserted into that blood vessel and for the restoring the blood supply of that vessel, from that vessel. Now, in bypass surgery, the atherosclerotic region is bypassed with the part of vein or artery taken from other suitable part of the body. In bypass surgery, what happens? The atherosclerotic region, wherever there is atherosclerosis or wherever there is blockage, at that region, this region is bypassed with the vein or the artery of the other part of the body. That is the bypass surgery. The next is heart transplant, the replacement of severely damaged heart by normal heart from a brain dead or recently dead owner is called as heart transplant. Now, heart transplant means replacing the damaged heart with a new one or the normal heart, which can be taken from the brain dead patient or a patient which is recently dead or the owner which is recently dead. That is called as heart transplant. Next is silent heart attacks. Now, these are also known as silent myocardial infarction. Silent heart attacks are also known as silent myocardial infarction. It lacks the general symptoms of classic heart attack, that is extreme chest pain, hypertension, shortness of breath, sweating and dizziness. Now, these symptoms are not seen in the silent heart attack. The symptoms which are seen in the extreme heart attack or the classic heart attack, that is chest pain, extreme chest pain, hypertension, shortness of breath, sweating and dizziness. These symptoms are not seen in the silent heart attack. Men are more affected by the silent heart attack than the women because these symptoms are not seen. Sometimes this heart attack, silent heart attacks are ignored by a person because of the lack of symptoms, and it is observed by the studies that men are more affected by the silent heart attack than the women. Now let us discuss about the electrocardiogram. Now, electrocardiogram is a graphical recording of electrical variations that is detected at the surface by surface of the body during the propagation through the walls of the heart is called as electrocardiogram. Now it is a recording of electrical variations which are detected on the surface, at the surface of the body during their propagation through the walls of the heart. This is called as electrocardiogram or ECG. When these electric variations through at the body surface, they propagate to the heart, they propagate through the walls of the heart, they enter through the walls of the heart. This is called as electrocardiogram. These are recorded in a graphical way, that is called as electrocardiogram. Now it may be in the form of printout or on-screen display. Instrument used to measure this variations, that is ECG machine or electrocardiograph. It detects and amplifies the signals. Now the instrument which is used to measure these, that is called as the ECG machine or electrocardiograph. It can be displayed in the form of printout on a paper or on screen display. Various electrodes are used for recording signals. 4 electrodes are positioned on the limbs, 2 on the arms and 2 on the legs. These are called as the limb electrodes. And 6 electrodes are positioned on the chest. These are called as the chest electrodes. In normal record, 3 different waves are recognized: P wave, QRS complex and T wave. So, various electrodes are there which are positioned on the body surfaces. 4 on the limbs, that is 2 on the arms and 2 on the legs, whereas 6 electrodes are positioned on the chest. The electrodes which are positioned on the limbs are called as limb electrodes, and the electrodes which are positioned on the chest are called as chest electrodes. And the normal record can be seen in different waves, 3 different waves. Those are P wave, QRS complex and T wave. P wave is small and it is upward deflection from the baseline of the graph, and it represents the atrial depolarization. So the P wave, it is an upward deflection from the baseline of the graph. It is an upward deflection from the baseline of the graph, and it represents the atrial depolarization. The QRS complex starts as slight downward deflection from the baseline graph and continues sharp and large upright wave and ends downwards again, and it represents the ventricular depolarization. Now this QRS wave, it first starts as a downward deflection and then it rises up as sharp and then as a sharp and large upright wave, and then again deflects downwards and ends into a wave. So this QRS complex, it is called as QRS complex. It represents the ventricular depolarization. The T wave is small, wide and upward elevated wave. It represents the ventricular repolarization. So this T wave, it is an upward, wide and upwardly elevated wave, and it represents the ventricular repolarization. So these 3 waves are seen in the electrocardiograph: P wave, QRS complex and T wave. This electrocardiograph or ECG helps to diagnose the abnormality in the conducting pathway, enlargement of the heart chambers, damages to the cardiac muscles and reduced blood supply to the cardiac muscles, and causes of chest pain. So this ECG machine can help us to diagnose or to detect the following things: abnormality in conducting pathway, the abnormality in heart or the conducting pathway of the heart, enlargement of the heart chambers, damage to the cardiac muscles, reduced blood supply to the cardiac muscles, and the causes of chest pain. These can be diagnosed or detected by the ECG machine. Now let's talk about lymphatic system. When we started circulatory system, I already mentioned about this, that lymphatic system is a part of circulatory system. So lymphatic system consists of lymph, lymphatic vessels, some organs and tissues. Now this lymph, it is a clear water. It means clear water. It is a fluid connective tissue with almost similar composition to blood, except RBCs and platelets and some proteins. Now this lymphatic system, just like circulatory system consists of blood, blood vessels and heart, isn't it? So this lymphatic system, in the similar way, it consists of lymph, lymphatic vessels, some organs and tissues. Now lymph means clear water. It literally means clear water. It is a fluid connective tissue which has a similar composition to blood. Only the difference is the blood has RBCs and platelets in it, and because of the RBCs, the blood has red color, isn't it? So this lymph is a clear water. It is a clear fluid which does not have RBCs and platelets and also some proteins. So otherwise it is the similar composition to blood. It is a fluid connective tissue just like blood. The fluid from the intercellular space of the body tissues enter the lymphatic vessels. From here it is discharged into the blood vessels through the thoracic duct and the right lymphatic duct. Now just like this blood circulatory system, lymphatic system is also there. The lymph vessels or the lymphatic ducts are present all over the body, and at some intervals these enter the blood vessels so that they can provide the lymph. The lymph gets added or lymph enters into the blood through the thoracic duct and the right lymphatic duct, or the lymph is discharged in these through these ducts in the blood vessels. Now as you can see, this heart, from the left side the oxygenated blood is pumped out, and from the right side the deoxygenated blood is pumped out. So here these are the lymphatic capillaries. These are the lymphatic capillaries, and here these are the lymphatic nodes. The lymph is produced in these lymphatic nodes and then it is passed to the capillaries. It is passed to the capillaries, lymphatic capillaries, and then it enters inside the blood vessels. Here also it is passed through these lymphatic capillary, and then it enters or discharged into the blood vessels. In the same way, here it enters from here. It is discharged from here into the blood vessels. The relation between the capillary and the blood vessels and the lymphatic capillary is seen in this way. This is the from here inside this lymphatic capillary, the lymph flows and it gets discharged into these blood vessels. Here it gets discharged into the blood vessels. These are the blood vessels, these are the arterioles, these are the venules and blood capillary, and this is the tissue cell, and blood flows in these blood vessels, and here they get mixed up with the blood. This lymph, it gets mixed up with the blood, or it gets discharged in the blood vessels. So this lymph, it gets discharged in the blood vessels through the thoracic duct and the right lymphatic capillary. This is how the lymphatic system works. This lymph, it prevents, it has WBCs, it prevents our body from the attack of pathogens, or it